morning, and welcome to Marketing in the Virtual World with Megan Anderson. Please let me introduce the president of CAMP, Ms. Audrey Boissonneau. Audrey?
Good morning. Thank you, Megan Jackson. I just want to say thank you to Kevin Casey, who's joined us. He's president-elect for CAMP. We are experiencing a few technical difficulties with our presenter, Megan Anderson. So she has been popping on and off, and I'm assuming she will be back momentarily. So in the meantime, I am going to share our upcoming events with you. Let's see. So tomorrow we have an NMLS class with none other than our Kevin Casey. He will be doing the 8 hours through Mortgage Educators. So the notices are going out. It's posted on Facebook, etc. So if you would like to register, please do so. And when you do that, go in and click on the drop down, and you can choose the chapter that you belong to or are going to belong to after today, and they will get credit for this class. So make sure you get registered. That's tomorrow. Next Tuesday, June 2nd, we have Kevin Peranio with PRMG, who will be joining us to help with our weekly update of what's going on in the market. June 3rd, that is next Wednesday, I think, and we are having a credit webinar, so COVID and credit, and I'm super excited about this because we have Terry Clemens coming on, who is the head of a credit trade association, and so informative. Every time I hear him speak, he just knows everything. And then we have John Ankari, who is with FICO, Fair Isaac. So it's going to be very interesting. You're going to be able to ask all your questions you have about what you're seeing on your clients' credit reports, what's happening with the forbearance, what happens, what's going on, all of that. We're going to take care of it next Wednesday. So join us then and look for those notices. They're going out. June 4th, that's next Thursday, we're going to do a camp social hour every other Thursday. We haven't exactly figured out the date, anyway. But next Thursday, 5 o'clock, look for that, and we're going to do a brainstorming session. So the last one we didn't start off that way and ended up that way. And what we realized is there's a real need for people to have a place to go where they can talk about their deals. Like, what are you doing with this? What about that? What about that? So that's what that is going to be. Bring your drink of choice. It could be a Pellegrino. It could be a shot of Fireball. Don't care. It doesn't matter. Whatever does it for you is fine. And we'll look forward to seeing you. And it's just nice to see everyone's faces. So join us. And we're going to do that via Zoom. We're starting to understand Zoom a little better. So we're trying Megan Anderson to get with the virtual program, I promise. I will say, as I always do, please be a CAMP member. It's so important. We are a little band of volunteers who have a little help from a management company, but for the most part, it is people who do what you do every day. So I do loans, Kevin does loans, and but we have a heart for our industry, and we want to do something more. So please at least be a member. If you haven't renewed, do that, thecampsite.org. And if you are thinking of being a member, just do it. It is not a huge investment, but it's a very big return these days. So as always, you can put questions into the chat box, and Megan Anderson, with no further ado, we're so happy to see your cute little face, and we're happy it looks like you are sorting through your technical problems, and take it away.
Yes, thank you for having me, and I apologize in advance. You never know with technology and then random happenings, but how exciting. We're all kind of living in this virtual realm, so I guess we might as well get used to it, right?
Exactly.
But I'm really excited. Yes, might as well get used to it. I love that you guys are hopping on the Zoom platform. I'm a major fan of Zoom, so if you need any help as you guys navigate that, by all means, feel free to reach out. But welcome, everyone, to this webinar. I'm excited to talk to you about really coming in this virtual realm, and I want to make sure that I'm sharing my screen and people can see me.
We can see you. Although
okay, perfect. Okay, perfect.
Every once in a while you freeze though, so.
Okay,
I think it's just going to be what it is.
But one recommendation.
It'll be what it is.
When the Wi-Fi is bad, try not to move too much because the camera tries to repixelate with every movement, and that slows everything down.
We'll get through this. I appreciate you guys, and I apologize for any delays and technical issues. But let's just dive on in, see where this goes. I really want to talk with you all today about really stepping into this virtual realm. And COVID, this pandemic, has really shifted the way that we do business. Now instead of meeting with that client in person, everything that we do has to be taken online. And I'm going to go into my slides because I think that'll be the best thing for us right now. I do want to talk about body language. It'll have to be a little less hands-on in this dimension that we're having right now, but we'll get there. So let's go ahead and let's talk about what it takes to ultimately be famous in this virtual realm. And you guys already know this because it was showing, but who is the cartoon character that is square and lives in a pineapple under the sea? Well, you guys know this. It's SpongeBob SquarePants. Now, another question that you may not know, and there's a point to this, is who is the United States current Secretary of Treasury? Now, you guys should know this, and there's a few reasons that you should know this. One is you're in this space, but two, every time you pull out your wallet, you see this guy's name, Steve Mnuchin. And I love bringing this up because it really signifies a lot of what it is like with marketing and branding ourselves on social media. You can't just, go out there and throw out these videos that don't make any sense, that don't apply to anyone that we're actually trying to reach and convert into clients. You have to be memorable. Now, there's challenges. There's some common challenges when it comes to social media that we have to get over. And there's a few common ones that I see when I start asking people why they're not building themselves or their brands online. And the first one is, I hate the way I look. I have a face made for radio. Then there's, I hate my voice. I hate the way that I sound. I've struggled with this one. And then there's, how do I take these large questions and condense them into short, engaging video? And not only that, but how in the world do I know what to post and that people are going to find value in it? Well, today we are going to get over all of these challenges. We're going to start with, I hate the way I look. And today is get over it day. You just got to get over it. Every single client that you've worked with knows what you look like. Every single client that you're going to work with is going to know what you look like. So that is invalid, and we should not let that little judgmental fear hold us back. Now, what about I hate the way I sound? Well, again, this is just something that you got to get over. And there's a way that you can get over this. If you take out your phone and either record a video or do the little voiceover and you say something, go play it for someone you trust that you don't care if they judge you. And ask them, do I sound any different? You'll come to find out you might just hate the way your voice sounds in general because you sound exactly the same. Now, here's another thing too, is as far as the content is concerned, people stress out about what content do I create? How do I get engagement? We all know what it feels like if you put yourself out there on the line, put yourself out there on social media and received no engagement on that video. I remember the first time I went Facebook Live and there was 2 people on for like a minute and then it dropped down to no one. And there's just this sink in the bottom of your gut thinking, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself out there? Well, I'm going to share with you a way to get engagement that's actually easier than you think. And you can use this going forward to really get engagement on your social platform. So I want everyone to take out their phone and I want you to go to Facebook. We are going to post something as our status. And one thing that I have grown to see and learn is that people love to talk about themselves. So if we want to create engagement, well, we need to let them talk about themselves. So I want you to post one of the following as your status on Facebook. This is going to be on your personal page, not your business page. You're not going to attach an image to this. You can do a fun, colorful background. You can add in some emojis, but personal page, status, no adding of images. You're going to post one of these 3. And the first one is, what was your mortgage rate on your first home? How old were you when you purchased your first home? And what is your current mortgage rate? You can post one of these three. And once you're done doing this, I want you to go ahead, put your phone down. We'll check back in with this here in a few minutes. But this is going to give people an opportunity to talk about themselves. And actually, it's quite funny because once you guys get off this webinar, I want you to scroll through social media and you'll be laughing now that you know what an engagement post is, because you'll see these all over the place. You probably commented on one just today. And let's also talk about, how do I know what to talk about when it comes to creating content for social media? Well, I want you to think about this. I want you to think about our whole purpose of showing up on social media and being there is to help make our clients feel more comfortable in making one of the largest financial decisions of their lives. So think about that target audience. Who is your target audience? Is it first-time home buyers? Is it reverse mortgages? Is it people that, want to purchase a vacation home? Who is your target audience? I want you to write it at the top of the page. I want you to set a timer for 10 minutes, and I want you to list out every problem, question, concern, pain, feeling, emotion that these people experience. And I guarantee you, let's say you pick first-time home buyers, if you give yourself 5 minutes, I guarantee you're going to be walking away with 15, 20 questions, concerns, feelings that these people are experiencing. And these are gold to go ahead and create content from. So think about, what are those repetitive points of friction that I'm getting? What are these questions that I swear if I have to answer this one more time today, I'm going to need at least another cup of coffee? Those are what is going to make for great content. And also, you can try this site. I really love this site. It's called AnswerThePublic.com. And you see, I just typed in home buying over here, and it tells us everything that everyone is posting, having questions about when it comes to home buying. So that can be a really great platform if you're running out of topic ideas on what to create content over. Now let's talk a little bit about video, because people are terrified of doing video. And listen, we didn't all come out. I know I'm a millennial and everyone thinks that us millennials have it covered, but it's not like we came out of our mother's womb and was like, put a camera on me, I'm ready to go Facebook Live. No, it is not natural for anyone to do video, but it's important, because while you might subscribe to tools like MBS Highway, which we'll dive into here in a little bit on how that can help you with video, it's really important. And you might read all these other, maybe you read Housing Wire or whatever the case may be. That's great that you are taking initiative to learn beyond what is fully required per se for your job. But it's so important that we in turn take that information that we're learning about the market, about anything that involves this. It's important that we articulate that into our own way and our own video, so that we position ourselves as the trusted advisor. And when I first got into video, here we have passionate things that we want to talk about, points that we want to make. It's so easy to ramble on, and a 60-second video, well, it could get done in 60 minutes, ends up being this 15-minute long Facebook Live video. People do not have that long of attention spans. Take all of us, for example. How many times have you checked your email already throughout this? People have short attention spans, and it's important that we get to the point so that we have the most effective message and it gets seen by more people. Because when you have a video that is too long, a lot of the times that's going to cap its viewership. So this is how I structure all of my videos when it comes to social media. And it's really going to help you in condensing it down and getting it across in an effective way. The first is to have an introduction. This is really great when you first start out with video. You can mitigate this once you've done them for a while, and I'll give you an example on that. But here's an example of an introduction. This is Barry's daughter, Nicole. She was beta testing a tool that we have on MBS Highway called Social Studio, which I'll share with you because it's really going to be helpful in creating these clips for social media. But when it comes to the introduction, it's important to keep it short. Keep it short. An example here might be, Megan here with Megan's Mindful Minute. You want to have high energy and be upbeat throughout, especially the introduction. I mean, there's nothing worse. Maybe Susie posted a new video on social. You go ahead and you click on it, and she's just like, Susie here, and today I wanna talk to you about refinancing. No, you have to have energy. You have to get people excited. So have inflection and have that energy. And here is an example. Hopefully you guys can hear because I'm on my headset. Yeah.
Megan, we're still seeing SpongeBob SquarePants. So I think that the slides we're not following. So maybe we can we send those to people later just in case they've missed some things?
Yes. Let's send it to people later. I'm just going to get on the webcam and talk because it's obviously not working. I'm so sorry.
Great. So just know, everyone, we'll send out the slides later and once this is over.
Yes. We'll send out the slides. So video. Let's get into video. We have the introduction. You want to keep it short. You want to have high inflection in your voice. You want to be energetic. After the video, after the introduction, this is the most important part. It is the hook. And the hook is where we draw people in. This is where we get them to want to watch the rest of the video. So I want you to go back to that exercise that I told you to do where you write down, first time home buyers or whatever it is. And I had you list out every thought, question, pain, emotion. Those are what you want to tap into within that first couple seconds of that video. Because again, people have short attention spans. So we want to grab them in by saying, hey, I've suffered with this. This is what my clients have experienced. And then we dive in and we move from that hook, from why they should watch the video, into the solution or the payoff. So this is where you provide valuable insight or a solution to what their pain or concern or question might be. Maybe the concern is, I don't know if I have enough money to purchase a house. Okay, great. That's where you go off into the solution of, look, we have all these different loan programs that I can come in and ultimately help you with and make this a reality. And then after that, we go into the call to action. It's very important that you have a call to action on all your videos that you do on social media, all your posts. And these can be, people freak out about them a little too much because they start to say, well, I don't want to sound too salesy. I don't want people to unfollow me. I don't want to sound too salesy. A call to action can be as salesy as you want it to be or not as salesy as you want it to be. And what I mean by this is it's literally just the next step you want them to take. So maybe the next step is for them to send you a message. Maybe it's to schedule a call with you. Maybe it's to fill out a pre-approval app. Whatever the case may be, it's the next step that you want them to take. Maybe it's just simply to tune in every Tuesday, Thursday for your Facebook Live. It doesn't have to be salesy. But those are the steps that I have for formatting a video that I find to be extremely helpful. So just to recap that, we have the introduction, keep it high, have inflection. Then we move into the hook, why they should watch that video in the first place. We then move into the payoff where you provide that valuable insight or solution. And then we move into that call to action, which is the next step that you want them to take. And I also just want to say here as well that make sure the next step is easy for them to do. Whether it's to click a link and get a free, here's 10 mistakes to avoid being a first-time home buyer. That's something easy for them to do. If you're reaching new people and asking them right away to fill out a pre-approval, well, there they have to give up a lot more information. So just think about this as a way that's kind of funneling them in. We're capturing their attention and we're kind of funneling them in from there. Now, that is kind of the structure that I like to follow when it comes to video. And I would love to share my screen with you guys, but I don't think it's going to work right now. And I wanted to talk about a tool that we have on MBS Highway that can be really beneficial for this. And being a camp member, you guys get an extreme discount when it comes to MBS Highway. And you also get a trial period, an extended trial period. So take advantage of that if you're interested. MBS Highway, I'm sure you guys have seen Barry Habib present I think it was last week that we had Barry on here. But MBS Highway is ultimately a platform to help you turn more conversations into applications and more conversations into solidified referral partnerships. We have this one tool on there that's my favorite called Social Studio, which turns your computer screen into a teleprompter. And it makes it really easy for getting comfortable with video. The biggest thing when it comes to video is not letting those fears keep you from taking action. And then the second step is just getting in there and getting comfortable with doing it. So by practicing and taking the content and the scripts that we already have, that allows you to get comfortable on video. And then you start to gain more confidence when it comes into creating your own content and coming in with your own language when it comes to creating these videos. And one example that I really love to use for the scripts that we have in there is when the Fed cut rates to 0 and you guys were getting bombarded with phone calls, does this mean I get a 0% mortgage rate? Real estate agents had no idea what was going on. And you're like, oh man, another one of these phone calls. Oh, here I have to go explain this again. Well, what you could have done is you could have just opened up MBS Highway, read the script, downloaded it, send it off to whoever you want in a personal message every time they ask you that question, post it on social media so anytime someone has that question, they can get it right then and there. And I know that it takes a little bit of learning curve to get comfortable with ourselves doing video, but how much time would you have saved if you would have had a video at that moment to just send out to your clients to explain? And that is really the power when it comes to creating video for social media and just using video in our business. We're at a point in time where really our only connection with the world during this time of quarantine has been through platforms like GoToWebinar, platforms like Zoom. And so it's so important that we learn how to utilize these because, to be completely honest, I think that this virtual realm is here to stay. And I hope that you guys can see me because this next part is very visual. So I'm going to move really slow right now and hope that everything is okay. But what I want to talk about here is our virtual body language. So it would be completely different if all of us were in a room and I was standing up and I was presenting to you guys, right? Because that's natural. It's natural to give each other eye contact, to look around the room, to kind of analyze what's happening in the audience. But events aren't coming back anytime soon. It's going to be a while before we get a large group of people together in one space. And I'm sure a lot of you, the way that you were generating business was by holding those lunch and learn seminars and inviting real estate agents or having those first-time home buyer classes. Well, what are you going to do now? Well, the beauty in having a pandemic is that it allows us to get creative. So anytime you're getting down about this, one, I want you to remember that you are in the top 1% of businesses that are actually on the positive, making more money at this point in time. So you should be extremely grateful. But two, get creative. We can take every event that we have or that we were going to have and we can host it online just like we are right now. For your first one, just try and be in a stable Wi-Fi connection. But let's talk about how virtual body language is different. Because again, if you were presenting in a room, you'd be standing up, walking around, it would be completely different. But here, I'm in this little box. And hopefully this box isn't glitchy right now, but this right here is my area of influence. And here's the thing, when it comes to hosting events online is, once you guys get on Zoom too, you'll see this. We can have everybody's video up here and you can see what everyone is doing. It just depends upon the platform that you're on. But now it's completely different. If I want to give you eye contact, which is engaging, we've all been there with a client where they're like, yeah, I'm really interested in purchasing a home. And they're just looking around, not giving you eye contact. How hard is it to have a connection with that person? So in this virtual world, it's different. Eye contact now is looking into the camera, which is so weird. It's not like giving eye contact to a person. It's gonna feel awkward, but that's the way that it is. So if I was presenting in a room right now, I wouldn't be, just staring you down the whole time that I'm talking, right? That's unnatural and awkward. It's the same thing in the virtual realm. So if all of you were on here right now, if I really wanted to make a point and other people were talking too, I would look right at the camera when I really want to make a point to you and I want you to listen. And did you see what else I did right there? I leaned in. So if we were in a realm where we were in a room together, I might step forward, I might move my hand forward, but we're not. We're here in this little box. So instead, I'm going to give eye contact and I'm going to lean forward when I want to make my point. And another thing is using your hands. We feel so awkward in this virtual world that a lot of us just sit like this for an entire hour. And that's fine. But what if I'm sitting here and I'm like, you need to be doing social video. Why are you not doing social video? One, I'm not giving you eye contact right there. But do you see how I'm kind of like crouched down and I don't give off that confident demeanor of, listen, this is what you need to do and here's why you need to do it. So don't be afraid to use your hands. Use your hands. This is your area of influence. When you want to make a point, lean forward, point at the screen. I want you to do this. Yes, it's going to feel a little bit more animated. It's going to feel weird. But we're in this virtual realm, and I really feel like some aspect of this virtual realm is here to stay, so we need to adapt. We need to get better with this. It is not going anywhere. And to be quite honest, you really shouldn't want it to, because it allows you to reach more people. Yes, we will get back to normal, but let's make sure that we know how to better represent ourselves in this virtual realm that we're in. So I'm thinking that was okay because no one else was glitchy. So I'm hoping that level was okay, because I really wanted to share with you guys how to really shift gears into this new virtual world and stand out. And another tool that we have on MBS Highway, I'm actually going to try and share my screen, because you're not going to be able to have that first time home buying seminar right now. But what you can do is you can host virtual events. Just like we had, this event right now, we promoted it on social media. So here, if you want to get more consistent with social media, this is such an easy way to do it. Team up with your real estate agent or any one of your referral partners and say, hey, I want to host, a virtual event where we talk about now why is the time to buy, because rates are at historically low levels. There's less competing offers out there, depending on where you are. Some stuff is getting, demand is actually quite high for all of these things. But still, we're at these really low rates right now, and people should come in. They should take advantage of this. So let's team up and let's host an event online. Great. You get the date together. You create a Facebook event page, whatever the case may be. From this one event, you can create micro content to promote it. So you create little graphics, join us here at this time, join us here at this time. You can promote it through your story. And then when it comes time to give the event, well, what do you say? Maybe you have a set presentation, but what if you don't? Well, MBS Highway can really help with that. And I'm seeing if I can share my screen right now, but I don't think we can. I'll just talk about it. We have this tool called Presentation Expressway, which is pre-created PowerPoint slides and coaching videos. Get on there, pick a topic that you want. Maybe you want to host an event just for real estate agents. One of my favorite ones that we have is how to teach real estate agents to get started with Facebook advertising. It's now more important than ever to promote ourselves virtually and through the use of advertising in this realm. So you just go there, you download the slides, you can edit them however you want, and then you just give this awesome presentation. And from that presentation, you're going to have the recorded call that you did. Here's how you make creating content consistently easier. Because the number two things that I hear is, well, I don't think I would do good on video. No one's going to want to see my videos, and I'm busy. Like, how am I supposed to have time to go create all this content when there's money coming in and I'm not stressing for it. It almost like it becomes once times are slow, then I can get started with social media. But that's not the way that we should think about it. It's the same thing when everything goes down and you're just doing refi business and you're like, well, crap, if the market takes a turn, now I'm not going to have anything in my pipeline. It's the same thing when it comes to social media and managing our database this way. Think of it like a database. So let's say that you host that virtual class. Now you have this hour-long class, just like we're doing right here, right now. What you could do is you could take that hour-long class that you did and break it into shorter videos or pull quotes from it. I do this with my podcast, and it makes it so easy to be consistent on social media. I'll take that hour-long podcast that I have, I'll pull from it 5-6 quotes and 5-6 shorter little things, and now I have content for my social platforms for an entire month, and it all came from one video that I was doing anyways. So I want you to think about how you can make this easier without it being more work for you. You shouldn't have to go out there and recreate the wheel. You can just use what you're already utilizing. And the biggest takeaway that I really just want you guys to come with from today is that, listen, we all have that little small voice. We all have that little judgmental voice. That voice that says, no one's going to want to watch my videos. What if they don't like it? I don't like the way I look. We all have these little voices, but we can't let that little voice become our big voice, because every time we do that, whether it's being more consistent on social media and building our brand or getting out there and reaching our business goals, if you let that judgmental voice become your big voice, you're never going to take action. You are going to constantly come up with reasons why to not take action. And one thing that I have learned, I know that I'm young, but one thing that I have learned is that fear does not like to be named. So whatever your reason is of why you haven't done this already, I want you to name it. Name that fear. And I'll be vulnerable with you guys right now. I will share some of my fears. One of my first fears was that people were going to look at me and say, who is this 20-year-old coming in here telling us what we need to be doing on social media? It's just another millennial telling us what to do. That was one of my fears when I first started really stepping into this mortgage realm. And here's the thing, is that we have a way of talking to ourselves like we're bullies. We do not speak very kind to ourselves. And this is how we get over our fears. We name them, and then we talk to ourselves like we would talk to our family member, our brother, our sister, our friend, our coworker, our coach. What would your coach say to you if you were to say this? Well, my coach might say to me, look, Megan, honestly, their first impression might be, who is this 20-year-old coming in here doing this, trying to tell us this. But you have to remember your why. Why are you doing this? Why are you wanting to post this? Well, my why was because I really love to help people get over their fears and step into a place of confidence where they can go and they can attack this. For you, it might be, I really love helping that recently divorced mother put a roof over her head's kids and make her feel comfortable and confident and that she can provide. Maybe it's, your family members. Maybe it's your spouse. You have to get clear on what that purpose is, because when times are tough, when you don't want to do something, that's when you have to remind yourself of your purpose and why you're doing it in the first place. So don't let that little voice get in the way. Don't let it. State it, talk nice to yourself, and overcome it and take action. Right now, there's no better time. There's no better time. People are on social media. You deserve a space. You deserve for your voice to be heard. You are a trusted advisor, and you're there to help people make a better decision. So get out there, get on with it. If you need help with it, by all means, you can reach out to me. I'll share my email in the chat box. It's Megan, MEGAN @MBSHighway.com. If you guys want, I have a free content calendar that I can give you. I have some scripts for your real estate agents if you want to share those. If you want to take the trial of MBS Highway, if you just want to follow more social stuff involving Megan and hear my podcast, things like that, you can just text Megan, MEGAN, to 33777, and that will get you all informed on that. I want to open it up for any questions that you guys might have.
So, Megan, let me jump in.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? I just want to jump in here. We don't have a lot of questions. We have a considerable amount of feedback, though, and I want to share it with you. Good suggestions. We have a thank you, Megan. Wonderful information. Please send us the recording. By the way, we will, just to recap, if you got on late, we're going to send out the recording and the deck, and we'll include Megan's contact information so that you can go to her directly and interact with her. And they're asking if you'll do another one of these. And the answer is?
Yes. And I'll do it in better Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Better Wi-Fi.
We have another one that says, yay, like tons of exclamation points. Perfect. Exactly what I needed today. Such great info, a lot to absorb. So people really need this, and we so appreciate you. I just want to say for the record that I have been dragged into video kicking and screaming. I absolutely hated it, resisted it, and but I have been nudged and encouraged, and here we are. So if I can do it, anyone can do it.
There's a little pushing involved.
So, what?
Just a little pushing involved.
Yeah, a lot of pushing.
You're getting called out. So, well, we have to get you to do it. It's going to inspire everyone on this call to do it. So I better be tagged in this video.
No, we are definitely, and I think that just the glitchy problems and the tech problems in the middle of all this is actually great, because it just shows that when you have those issues, just keep going. It's fine.
Yes.
We're in the mortgage business, whatever. We're used to stuff coming up. We just deal with it and move on. So, they can listen to audio. They're going to get the slide deck. It'll come later. It's fine. No one's going to die, right? So they're asking, and we will do this too, actually. And maybe I have an idea for in a couple of weeks. They're asking if you can do a class on how to use all the tools on MBS Highway. And it's funny, I finally signed up for it this morning myself. So I used to have it. I hadn't for a while. I'm taking advantage of your offer, and I'm going to plug into all those tools too. So you can teach all of us. And if we don't have any other questions, and I just want to take a moment, because it doesn't always happen like this. We just had someone join while he was on the webinar, Bill Swars. I just want to say thank you for becoming a member today, and to everyone who's become members recently. It's really important, and we're ahead of where we were last year. We do auto renewals every April 1st, and we always have a big drop off and then build throughout the year. And we have had no live events. We've had nothing in person, all the usual things that drive our membership, and yet we're still growing. So we're really grateful for that. And it's with the help of people like Megan and Barry Habib that we are able to put on presentations like this. So from the bottom of my heart, Megan, thank you. I love that you are doing this in the middle of wherever you are outside and sharing everything that you have. I had no idea you were 20. Holy crap.
Late 20s.
Okay, there we go. That makes me feel a little better. I'm like, I know. I'm like, I could almost be your grandmother. Anyway, but not late 20s, I swear. Okay, so with that, do you have anything else you want to share with us today?
I
just want to end this. Yeah.
So I learned from Barry when he does his presentations exactly what you were talking about leaning into the camera, and I'm still working on that. Mm-hmm. You have to start talking. It doesn't come natural. You have to practice it. And then the other one is
have to practice it.
I know you're out in the middle of somewhere right now, so it's you can't control your background, but I've seen people make some of the dumbest things in the backgrounds. It's like, be professional.
Like mirrors.
Yes.
Don't put a mirror behind you.
Or
and also don't have a blank room either. There's nothing worse than It is raining. You guys, how funny is this? I'm like lost out of the place that I'm staying. I can't get anywhere, and now it's raining.
Oh.
This is also just another lesson for this virtual world is you can't control everything. Try and find shelter and just do the best you can.
Yeah.
That's right. It's fine. Well, and also, so Jill James had made a comment. How did you learn to not sit in the middle? She was asking Kevin and I, how did you learn not to sit in the middle of the screen? I was just told that yesterday. Who knew? And I just want to say to that, I have no idea where the heck I am in the screen at this point. It is lucky I'm on the screen, even close to the screen. I noticed that my head tilts a weird way. I'm not really sure what that's all about. And keep I think I need, anyway. So yeah, so we're all just learning as we go. So it is definitely not a perfect science. You look adorable. I don't want you to get rained on and have your computer completely crap out. So I think we wrap this up and say a big thank you. Just a reminder, everyone, if you want to take your NMLS 8 hours, do it, sign up and do it tomorrow with Kevin Casey. And we have a whole lineup. What?
It's almost sold out, so do it soon.
Okay, so it's sold out, so do it soon. Yeah, so anyway, have a great day, a great week. We have a huge lineup next week. We'll look forward to seeing everyone, and have a wonderful day. Thank you, Megan.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.